We're going to kick off. We're looking back. Let's be honest. It was a pretty performance against Brazil. I don't think we're as bad as everyone said. It wasn't great. Do not get me wrong. It was not great. But there are a number of issues that have been raised, and this is what these friendlies are for. Without Kane, we've got to find the right man up top. And I felt for Watkins. I don't think Watkins was terrible, but really...
He was just starved of any creativity or any chances.
Gemma, absolutely.
He was starved of that. So you can't really blame a striker for not scoring goals if he's not getting the chances created for him.
Indeed.
So like I said, I don't think he played bad, but he just was starved of anything of put in front of him, really.
And alongside Rice now, who plays in that role? That do you have a double pivot? So Conor Gallagher played there. Conor Gallagher is not that player. He's not that. He can't do that. To get the best out of him, that is not him. Right? And you need someone there. So how do you play this? Do you want Rice to be the Rice that we've seen of Arsenal in the last 2.5, 3 months, slowly getting hard at the pitch? I've always believed he could do that role. I've always believed there were more goals in him, but at West Ham, he was told to sit and he's done it very well. Now there's a little bit more licence under Arteta to go and score goals, and you're starting to see that. Do you want to see that Rice, or do you want to see the Rice that sits in front of the back four? Because then, whatever your answer to that question is, the player alongside him is absolutely crucial.
I want to see players playing in their best positions. So Jude Bellingham, Real Madrid, number 10.
Yeah. You're not getting the argument out of anyone there.
Right, lighten it up. Rice at Arsenal is playing in that pivot role, but giving the freedom to go a little bit forward, and his game's coming on.
Jorginho has been doing that role, that kind of holding pivot, where he keeps the ball and keeps things ticking over. So he's been in that. That's been his
and giving Rice
his responsibility.
The freedom to go forward.
Yes,
and also now Rice is coming up with some assists and goals,
big goals.
Okay, so that's looked like his best position. Now you just put Maino in the holding position because he's good on the ball technically. He's not scared to get the ball. He can challenge. He can defend. He can play the ball. He can pass the ball. I think it's a perfect situation, perfect scenario. So I want the players playing in those positions who get the best out of that position.
Tomorrow night,
if I see Henderson...
No, Gemma, what are you going to do if you see Henderson?
I think something's going through the TV.
Right, okay.
I'm calling in.
Right.
I'm calling. Do you know what I'm calling in?
I would wear your slippers then when you're watching the game. I have got a feeling, and I hope I'm right.
Please don't do this.
I don't know. Southgate is a creature of habit. It would not surprise me at all if you see Henderson. It would not.
I'd be up, bro.
Okay, fine, but let's see how it goes. You know, let's. You know, I like you. I
like you too.
I like you. Think Mainu's. Is that proper English? I like you. I do like you. Now I feel as though Mainu could tick a lot of those boxes, and his age doesn't bother me. I saw Rooney in 2004. 2004, I think it was. When he was the best player, one of the best player in the tournament, got injured. And he was, 18 at the time? That doesn't bother me. Does not concern me, his age. I know he hasn't had as many games, but this kid clearly is a huge talent.
But this is why this is a perfect scenario. It's not a qualifier. It's not in the Euros. It's a friendly. So if he can handle this and, play as he's been playing for Man United in this game, then you go, right, another little experience for him. Perfect. Just what you want for these young players. Rather than putting Henderson there, who's a veteran, who we know what we're going to get, not going to be exciting. It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, 03717 223344. And there are other areas of concern. Centre half as well. Maguire's got an injury. He's gone back. Chilwell didn't have his best night's work. It's fair to say. I don't think it was as terrible as everyone said. I think he got over the top. But clearly, you need to be putting in better performances than that. Trippier, does he? What are the choices at left back? I don't think Shaw is going to be fit enough. Who knows? There might be a miracle, but from what we know, it's going to be very, very tight for Shaw to get there. 03717 22 3344. And of course, up top, who is that replacement for Kane if Kane picks up a knock? Can't last 90 minutes. Maybe gets a suspension. These are the questions that we want to try and have answered before we leave for Germany in the summer. 03717 22 3344. Let's go and speak to Rich, the first caller on the Sports Bar of the week. Rich, welcome.
Good evening, boys. How are you?
So it's Heathrow Rich. What's that? Where's Heathrow Rich gone? Where's his name changed? I'm not talking to you, Rich. Rich,
oh yeah. Well,
no, Rich. It normally comes up Heathrow Rich.
Well, I can't help.
It's not your fault, is it? Can we change it to Heathrow Rich, so I know who I'm speaking to? Because if I'd seen Heathrow Rich up there, I wouldn't have gone to you first, Rich. I'm only joking.
Why?
I'm only joking, Rich. I'm only joking.
Well, I can soon go.
No, we want Rich.
Stay there.
We love you. I know we have a couple of heated words every now and then, but we love you really.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the same without a heat.
It wouldn't.
We'd still have a pint afterwards, wouldn't we?
We would still have a pint afterwards, maybe more than one. But anyway, what do you want to say?
Look, how many times did I come on before, like supporting the manager, like going back to World Cup, not the last World Cup, the one before, and I've been a good big advocate for him right up until the last Euros. And if we beat Belgium tomorrow, 4-0 or whatever, would any of us or many of us change our wariness of the team that Southgate will pick? I've just heard you going on about Jordan Henderson, and there's a possibility that he still would pick him. I just do not think, in the best generation of footballers, of English footballers since we won the World Cup or since 1970, but this is a fantastic generation of footballers, and we should be favourites to win the Euros. Without a doubt,
I think we do win it, Rich. I've got a good feeling about it.
But we should win it. And the biggest weakness in our team, right, is the manager, because tactically, when it comes down to it, he makes the wrong decisions. He picks the wrong teams. He picks the wrong formations, and we've seen it. He's all right playing the qualifiers and blah 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 blah. But when the pressure's really been on, there's no way in the world we should have lost that last Euros final. We should have won that, and even someone like Jose would have won that, and that's a difference between him and the current manager. And I just hope, I mean, like you said about Jordan Henderson, but he's still, more should have been done about Ben White. If we were going into a championship now with Ben White and Saka,
but that Ben White one, we don't know the full story. That one's gone. It's not his fault, Jace. I know that, but the fact of the matter is, it is a backroom problem that ultimately leads to the manager, however it's manifested itself. And at the end of the day, right, we still haven't sorted out our left side. Jordan Henderson shouldn't, with all the midfielders and all the players that we've got, he shouldn't even be on part of the subject that you two are talking about. And I hope I'm wrong, but tomorrow's result means nothing. The practicality of it is when we play our best 11 and when we have our best 16 players available to play for England, the one doubt I've got in my mind is the manager. And if we don't win the Euros, I just hope he goes to Man United because he can do it at what he's done to England.
Yeah, Rich, listen, there's many things that I could say that could vouch for what you're saying, but I'm going to say that throughout the show. But the little bit I've got here is, out of the top 10 teams that Southgate has faced, 25 times, he's won 5.
Yeah.
5.
And that's it. And that tells its own story, doesn't it? And when you look at the teams that he's played, right, most of those teams, their players wouldn't get into our England. So you look around, apart from the obvious in Europe, like Mbappe and the real...
Can I just say something, Rich, as well, right? Can I just say something? This is not just a Southgate problem. This has been going on for years. I spoke to Danny Murphy in the previous show. Yeah, we spoke about the fact we had Gary Neville, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Ashley Cole, Beckham, Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Rooney. I mean, this is not just a problem that we've encountered now. This has been historically England's problem. And thanks for the call, Rick. This is the problem. We can't get over the line. And this England side, for decades now, has not been able to find a way. Individually, the players are good. You can't deny that. Collectively, there is something not quite right.
But in that era of those magical players, look at the other nations, what kind of teams they had as well.
Fine, but what I'm saying
I think right now, our nation has probably got the most talented.
But that squad there that we just mentioned there, same rules apply. Not being able to get over the line against teams that are as good as
Ronaldinho, Rivaldo.
Yeah, you're right.
Ronaldo.
But there's been plenty. We didn't make it to some tournaments. Some of those players didn't even make it to tournaments. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout you. Yeah, sorry about taking it back.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.